Yes, what's good, people? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you lads and lasses. Good evening, all. We are here with the latest Manchester United goings on, news, debacles, and latest absolute calamities, and all the rest of it in regards to Takeover, guff, and manager backlash, and all the rest of it we're going to cover in this stream tonight. So welcome aboard, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Do us a favour at the start of this stream, smash that like button on it, give us a massive like spike at the start of this show. You know what to do. That's the one that looks like a thumb. Hit the thumbs up there, and share us around on social media if you want to do that. The link is pinned to the top of the live chat. Give us a little repost. We will shout you out later on the show for everyone that does give us a retweet on the old twits there, guys. Link to the top. As always, hit the subscribe button. We're not that far away from the next mini milestone of 76.2k subscribers. So do hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel and get yourself in there raw with your thoughts and opinions throughout the show. We will be dipping in and out of the show, of course, see what you legends have got to say, and then big Q&A at the end of the show as well. So, yeah, big up yourselves, everyone. Thank you for being here. Who's in here? Yuri, what's going on, lad? Rob362, get in there. Sanjay, Adrian Hamilton, Crazy Joe, Howard, Gordon, Zip, Kingslayer, PJ, Kyle Smith, the Mooch Baby, MJ8, Nas. We've got a gifted membership there from Matty Smith. Matthew Smith, get in there, you absolute legend. Thank you so much for gifting out a membership on the channel. Big love in the chat there, please, everybody, for Matthew Smith. Thanks so much for gifting a membership out. It's gone to Madhouse. Madhouse, the lucky recipient of that membership there. Get in there, Matthew Smith. I appreciate you, buddy. Let's get some big love in there. Thank you, Matthew. That's very, very kind of you. Great way to start the show. You'd love to see it. Thank you so much, Matthew Smith, lad. Fitz, yes, I could probably do with something like that, actually, in regards to Footy Manager, mate. I wouldn't want to put you guys to shame. Kirill, what's going on? Vincent Bullock, yes, lad. Nas, Kingslayer, Duncan, Andrikos, Vutinator, and everybody else as well. Thanks for joining. Vutinator says we've got 57 likes. Keep hitting the thumbs ups and get your thoughts in throughout, of course. Subscribe, all that jazz. And let's get stuck into the show. So, Manchester United. The story continues. It's been a bit of a saga of a season, hasn't it? We've got plenty of news to get into tonight. I mean, I guess I'll just kick things off, right, guys, with the gash-tastic Glazer shithouses and the current sort of situation going on there for a few minutes, and then we'll move on and hopefully not have to talk about it for a long time. But it doesn't seem like these wank bags are looking to sell the football club anytime soon. We know that they're just still using Manchester United as a commodity to make themselves fat cash. They're doing big deals, commercial deals like the Adidas deal, like the new shirt sponsor deal, various different deals they're doing to get the money into the football club to make it seem like Manchester United is a very, very profitable organisation, potentially to increase the sale price. But as of right now, Manchester United is not performing on the pitch at all well, and this is having an effect on our pricing. This is having an effect on how much this club's actually worth. The value of this club is plummeting more or less by the day because of the situation with the performances on the pitch. I mean, there's doubts now about whether or not Manchester United can get out of their Champions League group. There's doubts about whether or not they'll be able to get top four and qualify for the Champions League next season. These are all things that are going to have a big knock-on effect to the overall value of the football club. There is a couple of different offers on the table. It seems from Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazer shithouses are, still undecided about who to go for. And the other offer, of course, from Sheikh Jassim, the Glazer shithouses don't want to play ball at this moment in time because, from my point of view, what they're trying to do is just get as much money as they can possibly get. And they're hoping that the Qataris, I think, at some point do increase their bid. Maybe out of frustration, maybe because of this PR drip-feed guff that you're hearing every other week that, there's some sort of deal that can be done with Sir Jim Ratcliffe because he's a flexible individual and might just be prepared to buy a small amount of the club and get his foot in the door, and then maybe the Glazers can stay. So, it doesn't seem like necessarily that these shitbags are ready to sell at this moment in time, unfortunately. Absolutely Gungshi. Glazer shithouses out. Good to see you, Don Gungshi. So this is via Miguel Delaney, who says that Joel and Avram Glazer still aren't ready to sell Manchester United. I mean, so it does seem like there's a couple of Glazers at least that want to keep the football club, and obviously they own it right now. I still think they're looking to sell, and they will sell, but they're just prepared to quite literally take as long as it takes to get the most amount of money that they can get. And they're hoping that if they keep waiting, if they keep putting pressure on and all this PR guff that keeps coming out every single week, that perhaps maybe the Qataris might up their bid, might up their offer, and they might be able to squeeze a few extra 100 million out of the football club. I think that's really what's going on right now, unfortunately, and because of that, it's putting us as fans in a state of limbo, and we're actually unable to kick on as a football club. I mean, just look at what's happened with Newcastle United since they were bought out by Saudi owners. Like, obviously, before that, they had Mike Gashley, who there is some quite strong comparisons, I suppose, with the Glazers. Not so much, because the Glazers have spent a bit of money, but there's still comparisons. Like, the fans don't like their owners. The owners don't truly fully invest in all different areas of the club. Of course, this is a big problem. And as soon as that negative ownership leaves and the new owners come in, and it's not even about necessarily spending crazy amounts of money at Newcastle, but just having a clear vision, clear ambition. You can see the upturn in form at the whole football club that's been going on there, really. And it's apparent. I mean, just a short while ago, they're a sort of football club that's yo-yoing almost between Championship and Premier League, struggling for to stay up every single season. And now they're destroying PSG in the Champions League and things like that. They're obviously on a really good upturn because of, I think, no doubt, in fact, only because of the change in ownership. And you look at how much they've spent. They haven't spent crazy amounts. People say, oh yeah, but the Glazers have spent shitloads of money. It's actually only secondary, in my opinion, about what is being spent here. It's also mainly about the overall direction that the club is prepared to be in and go in, and the ambition that is shown from the top down, and everybody being together. And everybody seems to be quite divided at Manchester United. In fact, our owners are the sort of satellite owners that are away from the football club, that don't really care too much about Manchester United winning. They just want us to be up there and about, so that they can keep the money coming in, keep the cash flow coming in, keep the commercial deals coming in, and just use our name to generate cash for themselves. So that's really the problem here, is that we don't have owners and the hierarchy at Manchester United that is all pulling in the same direction just to try and improve the football and make the football club as best as it can be on the pitch. So that's the biggest issue, really. We are lacking there. I mean, you can look at many clubs that have spent more than Newcastle United over the last few years, but they spent what they have spent well. It's not a crazy amount. They spent what they have spent well. And now, because of the owners that they've got, there's a clear vision and an execution of that vision that is taking place, which you cannot deny. Matthew Smith, thank you very much for getting in here, being a hashtag 7-month member. Get in there, let's get a hashtag 7 in there. Thank you, Matthew Smith. I appreciate you, bud. 7 months of pure biz. Thank you so much, bud. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much, Matthew Smith. Get in there, my son. So, look, obviously, the Glazers might have spent a bit on the face of it, but we've gone over this many times about why they haven't actually spent any significant amounts of money at the football clubs, particularly because Man United generates so much cash. We're a commercial beast and we generate hundreds of millions of pounds every single year. They've still got us in a billion debt. We should have been spending money that we've generated, yes, but also money that some investors have put into the club, i.e. the owners. You look at the outside investment from other clubs and it's apparent, whereas Manchester United only spend a small percentage, it seems, of what we generate, and the rest gets siphoned out of the football club or servicing debts and things like that. So it is highly frustrating. You know, the owners we've got, you could see the difference in Newcastle's mentality and their fortunes once they changed owners. And I strongly believe once we change owners, you'll see the same sort of upturn in our fortunes immediately. Almost immediately, once we've got owners who do have that clear ambition, who are prepared to maybe invest a little bit from outside sources, who maybe are prepared to improve all facilities and have that direction and ambition at the football club, we will be back. We will be back. But until that happens, we are still going to be in this state of limbo under Glazer ownership, where we are sadly absolutely bang average. And nothing's going to go away in that regard. Will we be able to convince the Glazer shithouses to sell by protesting and and making our voices loud and clear. I mean, we've been doing that for years, and these wank bags haven't actually gone anywhere. I mean, obviously, you've got to keep up whatever you can do in regards to protest. Don't buy the merch, sing it loud and proud, Glazers out, talk with your feet, talk with your wallet, and all the rest of it. But ultimately, they just want to wait and see if they can get as much money as they can possibly get from the potential new bidders. And the Qatari group, if you believe these reports anyway, are understood to be prepared to spend a significant amount on Manchester United, somewhere in a region of about £5 billion. A huge amount of money for a football club that does need £1 billion or two spending on it immediately once they take it over. That does need to have its debts cleared away as soon as you come through the door, really, to make things operate in a sustainable and ambitious way. So you're talking about heavy investment. It's not just the initial amount. There's money further down the line that needs to be spunked in order to get Manchester United back to being a top side with clear ambition and to remove some of the shackles at this football club and give us all the facilities and everything that we need. So, they are pretty firm, it seems, that the valuation that they've put on the club of a £5 billion offer is bang on, is a very juicy, meaty, nice, fair offer, and I agree with that. Smash a 1 in the chat, guys, if you think that £5 billion is a heck of a good offer for Man United right now, based on everything that you could possibly look at. The fact that we're plummeting in price in terms of our stock prices, the share prices, the fact that we've got facilities that are leaking, that are rusty, that are old, that need a big revamp, that need massive spending on it. The whole infrastructure needs massive spending on it. The performance on the pitch isn't there. And all that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, lots of ones coming on live chat. That's a bloody good offer, isn't it? For the entirety of this football club, that's probably worth, all things considered, with the debts and everything we've just gone over, about £4 billion. So it's a fantastic offer from the Qataris, if that is to be the case, if it is to be £5 billion. But this report says that the Qatari group bidding for Manchester United will not increase their existing offer of £5 billion, despite the threat posed by a new deal being tabled by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. And that's what I think these Sir Jim Ratcliffe talks are all about, essentially. It's like PR guff, drip feed mess to try and put a bit of pressure on the Qatari group, potentially to increase their particular offer. And they've already put a very high offer on the table. Why would they want to go and pay ridiculous amounts for Manchester United, well over the odds, when they could just wait it out and hopefully the Glazer shithouses will turn around at some point and just go, yeah, you know what, we're not going to get a better offer than this, which I think will happen at some point. And it goes on to say that the Qataris remain convinced that the £6 billion price tag for Man United is too high, and are standing by their offer of £5 billion for a 100% purchase. Not least because Ten Hag's side of misfiring on the pitch, the debt stands at about £1 billion, and the Old Trafford Stadium and training ground remained in dire need of modernisation. As I've just said, it's not just a case of coming in here and everything's going to be rosy. No, you've got to come here after spending £5 billion to buy the club and then spend another £2 or £3 billion in order to get everything up to standard, all the facilities and infrastructure, stadiums, everything. Takes a heck of a lot of investment to get Man United to be great again. So, in fact, a Qatari bid of £5 billion is more like, when you consider that they probably will come in and spend the money on the facilities and everything at United, it's more like an $8 billion offer, really, because the Glazers have got us basically $3 billion in the shit with how poorly run the club is and how poor the infrastructure is at the football club. Exactly, Rudolph the Red. Thank you very much for getting in here, Rudolph, lad. Come on, let's get some red emojis in there for this top red. He says, it's a good offer. I just don't think they'll take it. What else are they waiting for? Spot on, Rudolph the Red. Thank you very much for your super chat here. It's a heck of an offer, isn't it? It is a good offer, £5 billion. If that's the offer and that's what's on the table, for a club that is a bit dilapidated right now, it's a fixer-upper and is struggling on the pitch also. It's a heck of a good offer, really. What are they waiting for? Well, I think, obviously, there's a bit of complexities going on in this deal. There is complexities. There is a problem with perhaps the fact that there's so many different Glazer shithouses on board at United there, where some of them maybe want to stay, some of them see value in keeping on the club long term, so you've got to get everybody singing off the same page for those guys. That's also going to be a problem. But in regards to why the biggest reason is, I think they're just waiting out to see if they can get more. There you go. They're in no rush to sell. If a good enough offer comes in, they will accept it, I'm sure, and run away into the sunset. But right now, they're just waiting out, aren't they? I think what's the problem for Man United is that there is another, essentially, bidder in Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who it seems is kind of flexible with what he wants to do in regards to buying the football club. There's reports recently that he could be interested in just taking a minority stake in the football club, somewhere around 25%, putting perhaps £1.5 billion into the football club. I mean, that would be good for the Glazers, because that means that they can spend money at United and take some money out of the football club, and they don't have to put any in, and they've still got a large percentage of the football club, the majority essentially, to keep hold and stranglehold of that football club. But they're making money, they can spend money and appease the fan base, but nobody's going to go for that. The fan base would have a monster backlash, I think, if that was to be the case. So they're running a risky game if that is the decision that they think is the best way to go. I think what most of the fans want is a full sale only. It's certainly what I want. Jassy Singh, thank you very much for the $2 Canadian super chat. Says, you might reach 10k views soon, bud. Keep it up. Super chat. You mean 10k live viewers? Right, okay. Jassy, I mean, we're a little bit away from that, my friend, but thank you very much for the super chat there, my son. You know, the other day on the watch along, actually, we did have 2.3k people watching at one point, which was pretty mad. Yeah, okay, we were losing, and about 1,000 of them were probably Scousers. But you're right, I mean, the channel is growing, mate. So thank you very much for that, mate. We did have a couple of thousand Scousers watching the other day. No, we didn't. We had a lot of Man United fans, but obviously there are some dirtbags that come out when we are losing to put the boot in, so to speak. Thank you, Jassy, for that super chat, lad. I appreciate you. Yeah, well, you can support the channel and help us grow, guys, and help us get out there by doing what we always say on this channel. Smash the like button. It's free to like the video, and it does help out the channel, and it helps boost us on the algorithm, so drop a little like on it. If you're just getting in here now, let's have a like spike, see if we can get 200 likes on this stream. Also, please feel free to share it around and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Get in there, my son. Nice one. Hey, and we're nearly at 100 likes. Everyone, let's smash past 100 likes on the stream and keep them coming. Thank you, Rushmano. He says subscribe to the channel. Get in there. We do need the Glazers out, Susan. Evidently, it's 100% true. Do you know what? One thing that's pissed me off, guys, about this whole Glazers out situation, like people are talking about the Glazers out, and we're talking about it, and I personally think that the only way this club ever gets better is to get rid of the shithouse Glazers. Some people are suggesting that the Glazer shithouses have actually invested a fair bit in Man United, and on the face of it, they've spent money on players, but it's money that Man United have generated as a football club. They've never put anything outside into Man United. They've kept us in debt. In fact, they've increased our debt since they own the football club, so they've left us in a real bad position, and the stadium is leaking. There's loads of issues with our infrastructure and facilities. They've just basically left us in a state of disrepair. It's an absolute joke. Yes, on the face of it, the window dressing is there. They've spent the money on players that the club's generated, but they haven't done anything else that is much required. You know what really pisses me off, guys? When you got figureheads like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who previously, man after my own heart, this guy. Love a bit of Zlatan action. Love the arrogance, love the ego, love everything about the guy. You know what, though? He's got this completely wrong. This is a big L from Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Let's get some L's in the live chat for Zlatan, mate. Hold that fat L, Zlatan, on this one, mate. Because this is what Zlatan said in regards to the Glazers. He said, I think now, in Manchester United, actually, let me do it in the voice. I think now, in Manchester United, I don't know. There are some kind of demonstrations about the owners to sell it and that. But just a reminder, the owners are investing. It is not like they are not investing because they bought in many players for a high amount of money. So I think it's a little bit wrong saying that they are not doing what the fans expect them to do. Then I don't know what the real problem is. And, in regards to everything at Manchester United. So, listen, this guy's saying, you know, he doesn't know what the real reason is behind everything at Manchester United. Well, listen, I'll tell you what the real reason is behind everything. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Or maybe we should start calling him Twatan Ibrahimovic because he's acting like a fucking petulant child, this guy. Or Bratan Kidrahimovic. He's a spoiled brat of a man. You know, he's coming out, he's talking about all this guff like, oh, the Glazers have spent money. He doesn't know what to blame the failings at Manchester United on. Come on there, mate. Come on there, mate. As we've just gone over, I mean, is he really that clueless? As we've gone over, you know, he has basically just made himself to look like a bit of a tit. Like, he doesn't really know what's going on at the football club. Like, he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care. He doesn't know. Like, come on. We can see what's happening with the Glazers. They might have spent money on players, but it's the overall package. It's the overall direction. It's everything from the top down, the ambition, the direction, as we've gone over with Newcastle and their Saudi owners, and the instant change in the way that they go about things. As soon as that change and that ambition is there from the top, not even about spending money, really. It's about spending money right. It's about having the right people in place to drive a football club forward. And the right people in place are not wanky bankers or financiers or Glazer yes men or, you know, people like Murtaugh or even people like the previous twats we've had, like Edward Woodward and stuff like that. These guys, they are not properly doing their job. We clearly don't have the right hierarchy in place at Manchester United. We've got a Glazer shithouse hierarchy at Manchester United, which only really oversee the financials for the Glazers. I don't think they're really truly here to make Man United as good as we could possibly be. I mean, no disrespect to the people that are currently there, because they've just been hired to do a job by the Glazer shithouses. But I'm almost certain that if we got new regime in here, there would be an exodus, there would be a clear out of all of those absolute shirts that are at Manchester United's hierarchy, you know, the likes of Murtaugh and Arnold and people like this. I personally think that they would be cleared out and we would start with a fresh approach. So what does that tell you? It's not like those guys are all doing their job very well, is it? No. It's the hierarchy, it's the direction, it's the ambition, it's everything at United. It's the facilities, it's the, the infrastructure and everything we've just gone over time and time again. So Zlatan, hold that fat L, mate. You are talking absolute guff. He might be the greatest Swedish striker of all times. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is lion, my friend. He's half lion and half man. Guess what? He thinks like a bloody lion as well, because he's brain dead, this guy. He doesn't know what he's on about in this regard. He obviously is wrong. And do you know what's actually hilarious? He's sort of contradicted himself a little bit here. He has contradicted himself, old Twatan Slabrahamovic. He certainly has. Hey, thank you very much, Paul, for the 1999 Super Chat. Get in there, my son. Let's go. Let's get some Super Chat emojis in there for Paul. He says, I've been a Dallas Cowboys fan since their inception. The owners since the 90s don't care about winning. They care about the franchise making money. Just like the Glazers. Sure, they spend money, but only to make a profit. They sound exactly the same, Paul. It sounds exactly the same, mate. That's it. It's a money-making vehicle for a lot of these wanky billionaires. It really is, mate. And they don't care about the football. You're absolutely right. They just care about the money. Tell me this. If the Glazers, answer this honestly, guys. I know the answer to it already. But if the Glazers couldn't make a single dime out of Manchester United ever again, I don't know, the Premier League put some rule in place randomly where everything that the club generates had to be spent on the club or something. Just a hypothetical, question here. Completely bullshit. Obviously, it's not going to happen. But if there was no money allowed to be taken out of Manchester United and they couldn't stand to make a dime, do you think they'd be interested in running Manchester United for the passion? Yes or no? No is the answer. No is the answer, guys. You don't need to answer. No is the answer. They wouldn't be interested in running Manchester United at all because it's not a passion project for them. It's a money project for these guys, and that's all it is, and it makes them a shitload of cash. So you're absolutely right, Paul. I couldn't agree more. Everyone says no, they wouldn't be interested. Exactly. They just wouldn't be interested. It's not for them. They just are using this to make money, just like the Dallas Cowboy owners sound like they are doing that as well. Thank you, Paul, for the super chat. I appreciate that, my son. Get in there, you handsome bastardo. Much love, much love. So, listen, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, what an absolute tit. And a short while ago, he's saying comments like this, which is kind of contradictory to what he's saying there. He said, the one thing that surprised me, and everyone thinks is United as a top club, this was in like 2021, a couple of years back when he was talking about Manchester United. He said, one thing surprised me, everyone thinks of United as a top club, one of the richest and most powerful in the world, and seen from the outside, it looked that way to me. But once I was there, I found a small, closed mentality. So he was talking about the mentality of Manchester United being small a couple of years back, and now he's saying that, he doesn't think that the Glazers are really responsible for the failings at Manchester United, and they do spend money. What an absolute tit. This guy was fucking crying about spending £1 on a bloody juice from a minibar at a fucking hotel a little while ago, twatan. You know what I mean? Like, it makes you blood boil, doesn't it, these people contradicting themselves. Crikey. It's almost like he's trying to fit to some Piers Morgan wanky narrative or something for this bloody interview. Piers Morgan, what a scumbag, by the way. Goodness me. Cannot stand him. But anyway, so, definitely Zlatan's got it all wrong there. He's saying that the Glazers are not the big reason why Manchester United are failings. He said that it seems the fan base want to just lump the blame on the Glazers for everything. It's 99% their fault, if you ask me. I genuinely do believe that. Yes, okay. The manager's picking the team. The players are playing on the pitch. But there's there's an absolute rancid stench. There's a putridness that's at Manchester United, a rotten cut to the core mentality that starts from the top down and filters down like shite, like a fucking human centipede, all the way down to the fucking pitch. Look at Newcastle. Look at what changes as soon as the owners change. We are a human centipede of a club. It's like the Glazers are shitting into the mouths of the bloody board. The board is shitting into the mouths of the fucking hierarchy. The hierarchy is shitting into the mouths of the coaches. And it's all going down, and by the end of it, we're starved of fucking nutrients, my son. It's a human centipede at this fucking football club, my friends. It's an absolute debacle. And that's what it is, guys. It's rotten to the core from the top down. And until you fix it, until you get rid of those scumbags who are only prepared to spend money that this club generates and siphon it out and don't have the ambition to fix everything that's wrong at this football club, we will always end up with a lack of nutrients at the bottom of the football club, at the pitch, at the actual football level. We will end up with a lack of nutrients, sadly. So nothing will change until the Glazers have gone, as we've said many times. It's just get used to it, basically. Get used to it. Kingface says Onana looks small as shit. Well, okay, Kingface, you know, he's a big unit, but he's shrinking at the moment, mate. Unfortunately, he did look pretty small in that game at certain times. It's very, very sad. It is very, very sad anyway. Yeah, Singame says it's abusive relationship. You love them, so you stick with them. That's true, mate. Best analogy ever. Well, thank you, Sub2. It's true, though, isn't it? It is a state of affairs, mate, that we are in as a club. Thank you, Gungshi. Said, like the video for Piggy. Thank you, Don Gungshi. I appreciate you, lad. It's not a South Park reference. Colin, no. It's a Flying Pig reference, lad. It's a Flying Pig reference. But, you know, it's true, though, guys. It is a bit like that. Once we change the owners, we'll probably find ourselves in a much better position to be able to actually, you know, do some things and improve and get better. I mean, you know, there's people in charge of this football club I just don't really rate. Like, for instance, look at this guy. So, Mr. Murtaugh, right? So, I mean, this is obviously speculative stuff, but Miguel Delaney reporting anyway. He says that officials at other clubs have been privately dismissive of Manchester United Director of Football John Murtaugh. Some have even questioned whether he would get such a lofty role elsewhere, and if the job is too big for him. It is felt he doesn't have the contact base of some of his equivalents. Stuff like this. Do we really need stuff like this coming out? Obviously, I don't know if this is true. You know, this is just a report by Miguel Delaney. But the point is like, do we really have the confidence that we've got the right people in charge at this football club? I don't. I don't think, we've got Edwin van der Sar, Director of Football. Nice, he loves the football club. He's got connections. He's really got a good track record of doing good bits at other clubs. You know, he's a good guy. Or I don't feel like that. Just don't have that sort of feeling of satisfaction from who's actually in charge at Manchester United. So, you know, there you go. That's a fine example. Murtaugh's one. It's like, is he big enough for the job? Is he good enough for the job? Probably not. Yeah, Ulster says Zlatan chatting shite as usual. Ten Hag's working with a shit show behind him. Precisely. To just blame everything on Eric Ten Hag is just absolutely silly. I mean, I do agree with some things that he said the other day, right? In that Piers Morgan interview, to a degree, you know. Basically, he said that it is different, obviously, going to Manchester United when you've been used to managing youngsters at Ajax, which is a developmental club who are bringing players through, and you've got young personalities that you need to coach and mentor, and then you've got to go to United and you've got to coach a whole bunch of overhyped, overpaid prima donna superstar egos. It's a very different sort of an animal, and you saw that with his approach at the start of last season and the butting of heads with Cristiano Ronaldo, how he dealt with that. I thought he dealt with it great, to be fair. But, you know, there's obviously differences. It's a totally different way of managing and coaching football because you have got different personalities and different levels of superstars in your team. But we had a good season last season, so it doesn't really stack up. Yeah, we've had a bit of a ropey start this season, but it doesn't stack up because last season we did do well. So why are we starting to forget that now? He did do well. He did get those superstars playing good, decent football last season, and we did get some results. We did win League Cups and FA Cup finals. We got to the final FA Cup and we came third. You know, that's a good season for Ten Hag in his first season. So we've fallen off a cliff at the start of this season in a few games. It's not panic stations yet, but everyone now wants to say that Ten Hag doesn't have the bollocks to deal with the superstars and the egos last year. Oh, right, okay. Well, that doesn't really add up because Rashford was the tits last season and now he's shite. But he was the tits last season for the whole season, more or less. So, just doesn't really add up, does it? I know. I disagree with a lot with what was said in that. I mean, basically, any sort of interview that you see with Piers Morgan talking anything about Manchester United, it's always loaded questions that he's asking. It's always to try and to get some sort of negative spiel and narrative out there about Manchester United, because he fucking clearly hates us and he's a dirty Arsenal scummer, mate. And he's pissed up and bitter because his acting career dried up after that Home Alone 2 appearance as the fucking bird lady in Central Park. You know what I mean? The guy is bitter, mate. He's a bitter, bitter man. Thank you, Kieran says 140 likes. Get in there, my son. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate that. He is a scumbag, I know. Don't like him at all. Don't like him at all. Anyway, so there you go. It's very annoying, is all I'm saying. And there's a lot of blame that's going on Ten Hag. I agree with this statement, really, by Laurie Whitwell here on social media, that he says that the focus is falling on Erik Ten Hag after 6 defeats in 10. I mean, that's unacceptable, 6 defeats in 10. We know some of his selection being a little bit sus, questionable. But he has had lots of injury problems, and there's just a rotten mentality from the top down at the club. Laurie says that, but the issues at Man United run deeper. Any manager would experience difficulties amid the expectations and the dysfunction at this football club. Public communication from senior figures such as John Murtough would help the mood. I mean, smash a 1 in the chat, guys, if you agree that any manager would struggle long-term at this football club with the setup that there is at Manchester United, i.e., the dysfunction, this sale process hanging over the football club, the injuries, the lack of investment truly everywhere, the mentality, the people we've got in charge. I believe that almost any manager would struggle. Some managers are special, yeah. Sir Alex Ferguson managed to do a good job even while the Glazer shithouses were here, but you're talking about the greatest coach of all time. And even he, I'm sure, was shackled in some ways. Lots of ones coming in the live chat here, yeah. So you think about all the great coaches that have come and gone post-Fergie, and there has been some good ones. Louis van Gaal, nobody can deny, top coach. Jose Mourinho, one of the greatest of all time himself. Yeah, okay, you can say people like, Ollie, not that experienced, even though he did a decent job, and David Moyes is a ginger goblin, etc. But we've had some really top coaches at this football club, at least on paper. And they've done well for brief periods. But to keep it going, to keep that momentum going up against all of the rotten hierarchy and the issues that are present at this football club, the miscommunication, the lack of ambition, the lack of direction, it's just difficult. Doesn't matter who you are. People just go, well, the manager should be coaching the team to a better level. But there is a mentality problem at United. There's a standard problem at United. I will just go back to, and I will say, and I've said this 3 times during this video, so I don't want to keep repeating myself. But if anybody disagrees with what I've just said, just look at Newcastle United. Just look at the fact that a couple of years back, they're struggling to stay up. They've got shithouses like Almiron looking absolutely bang average. Now he looks like a fucking world beater. Why is that? Is it just down to Eddie Howe alone? I don't think it is. Isn't it? It's no coincidence that their upturn in fortunes happened when they sold the club, when Mike Gashley has sold the football club to Saudis, and Saudis have come in with that ambition, that direction, and the football club has flourished. That's no coincidence.
Get in
guys.
there, my son.
Thank you very much for subscribing there, Rebecca Lacey. Thank you so much. If you guys are new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. Yes, indeed, we're only 21 subscribers away now from the next milestone, 76.2k subs. Get in there. Thank you so much, everybody, for getting in and subscribing, and keep smashing the likes up there and everything like that. Zane says, get Eddie Howe in. Look how well he has done. Yeah, great comment here, Zamiasi. Great comment this is, Zamiasi. This is a wicked comment from Zamiasi. Not. Zamiasi, thanks so much for getting here. Listen, Eddie Howe done a sensational job, hasn't he, at Newcastle United? You know what would happen if Man United got Eddie Howe in? If Man United sacked off Ten Hag tomorrow and went and got Eddie Howe, do you know what would happen? I'll tell you what would happen. He'd probably do well for a little bit. We'd probably steady the ship a little bit. Then there'd probably be another time where you see Manchester United go into a bad episode, a bad series of run of form where we fail and we struggle. And then everybody's going to be like, Eddie Howe out, Eddie Howe out, blame Eddie Howe. No, the process is there. Many managers have come and gone and tried before Erik Ten Hag to get this club back to where we need to be, and it's bloody difficult. Jose being one of the main culprits, for instance, with bags of experience and reputation and one of the greatest coaches out there. Many managers have tried and failed, and the same process, the same cycle would just repeat if we went and got Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe is a great manager to get into your football club once the foundation's there, once they've got the new owners, like, for instance, the Saudis over at Newcastle. The direction, the trust, the faith, the belief, the investment, everything is there now, which makes it a very nice place to manage and coach. It makes it a great place to coach. Mate, Eddie Howe, if he came into Manchester United, would struggle just like anybody else, because the mentality, the standards of this club are a disgrace. Look, Eddie Howe, his tactics, his coaching, they're great. Were we not saying that about Erik Ten Hag before he came to Manchester United? I think we were, weren't we? We were praising the fact that he was able to get a team like Ajax to the semi-finals of the Champions League, despite that their spend and everything was absolutely tiny compared to the top giant houses, of European football. It's the same. Eddie Howe is a great manager. Of course he is, but him coming into United wouldn't solve a damn thing. The only thing that solves the biggest problems at United is getting rid of the current owners and having a complete mentality and direction change at the football club. So, Eddie Howe, good manager, but you're talking guff Zane. Luke CX, thank you so much for getting in here, bud. He says, previously there's been no focus on owners and boards, etc. Clubs are now a bigger organisation. Having a holistic strategy and culture from the board to the youth team is crucial. More to it than owners. Exactly, Luke. You are absolutely bang right. As we just talked about during this show, like it's not the manager. It's not just the owners. It's a lot to do with the hierarchical issues that take place at Manchester United. The people in charge in the football decisions. Not just the last couple of years either. Go back a few years to when we had Eddie Woody Woodward, a wanky banker, as essentially playing our director of football without having that actual title as he was a chief exec. It's like, what are we doing? We've not got the right people in charge. Even now, as we said, we've got people in charge, I think, who are a little bit suspect, who maybe perhaps aren't the most qualified to do their jobs in those roles, who perhaps don't have the paramount best interest of Manchester United at heart, who are looking to maybe do the job for the Glazers, who are Glazer yes men. So you're absolutely right. It's the focus. The problem at United, it is a hierarchical thing. It's not just as simple as saying it's the coaches. It's not just as simple as saying it's the owners. It's the whole shebang. Obviously, it starts from the owners because they're the ones that are putting all of these people in charge and in position in this football club. So I agree with what you said. The focus on this football club, it's got to be bandy throughout the whole hierarchy. It's everybody at this football club that is making this football club fail. It's not just as simple as putting it on one area of this ownership or the manager or whatever. Completely agree. Thank you very much for your super chat there, my friend. I appreciate that. Get in there. Let's get some love in the chat for him there. Oh, Gungshi. Thank you so much, Gungshi, for getting in with a 5 gifted memberships there. You're a top lad. Big love to Don Gungshi, everyone. Oh, Gungshi Leone. Oh, Gungshi Leone. Thank you so much for getting in here and being a complete legend and gifting out 5 members, lad. Let's get a hashtag 5 and some love hearts in there for Big Schlong Don. Mr. Don Gungshi, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Gungshi. You're an absolute lad. Very, very kind of you. Thanks for gifting out those memberships to Sanjay Ramatar and everybody else who's got one. The Gaming Simp, get in there, my son. And everybody else who's got one. Thank you so much, Gungshi. You're a bloody hero, lad. Nash says, Piggy, I disagree with you. Look at Guardiola. You what? You just basically proved my point, mate. What are you on about, Nas? What are you talking about, mate? So, at City, he's got everything that he bloody wants. They've got the structure, they've got the hierarchy, they've got the owners, they've got the ambition, they're invested in all areas, they've got everything they need. Before, at Bayern Munich, he's going there doing fucking cup doubles, he's gone into a bloody established football club with great run setup and everything. Everything's pucker for him to go into. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand what you mean. Pep Guardiola only further proves the point that you need the right ownership, leadership, going on at the football club, investment, ambition, everybody pulling in the same direction. It only further backs that up. So I don't really understand what you mean by that comment, mate. Pep Guardiola is a great coach, but even he at Manchester United, if he'd have come in post-Fergie or any time, he would have struggled to get this team going and firing properly, in my humble opinion. He might have done a slightly better job than most because he is a great manager. I tell you what, it wouldn't be like City are now, where they're a well-oiled machine and a completely winning club all round in regards to like investing in all areas and making everything world class there in regards to their facilities and infrastructure. It wouldn't be like that, mate. He would struggle just like anybody else because this football club's rotten from the top down, lad. Kingface says lazy United players need to press all match long, says Kingface. I'm just going to ignore that comment, mate. Just going to ignore that comment there, Kingface. Thanks for the $1.99 super chat. It's just too dumb, mate. It's just too dumb. Zamy Ashley, thank you for the $9.99 super chat here. He says, get Hercules Poirot. It's Hercule Poirot, right? Or is it Hercules? Hercule Poirot to manage as he can solve impossible mysteries. Latest Poirot movie was good, Piggy. Watch it after you have a meltdown after Brentford, says Zamy Ashley. You are someone else, aren't you? You are a massive tit lad, aren't you? Fair enough. You're into your what's the word, murder mystery type stuff, aren't you, bud? Yeah, I would guess so. Hey, I've got a murder mystery for you, mate. Perhaps we could, I don't know, like maybe submit it as a plot story for the next Hetty Wainfrops Investigates or something like that, or Midsummer Murders or something. But I would like to know how Arsenal were murdered 20 years ago, and to the point where they haven't won a Premier League since, mate, and they've never won a Champions League. That's what I'd like to know, mate. I'd like to make a narrative and a story and a programme about Arsenal being dead. That's what I'd like to know. Oh, okay, right, yeah, right now, you're doing all right. Yeah, going to finish second or third, are you? Nice one. Going to win anything, though, are you? No. Going to win the Champions League, are you? No. So, you know, you're a dead club, mate. Absolute hashtag dead club, mate. That's all I can say. Let's get fucking Felicity Kendall on the go, mate. Trying to fucking, you know, talk about that. Say me as you talking, guff lad. Anyway, yeah, exactly. Someone needs to draw chalk around Arsenal, bro. They are a rotting corpse of a football club, man. Yeah, okay. They're in a bit of a spell. They're in a death throw right now, you know. They ain't nothing special. Gaming Sim, get in there. Thank you for being a double member for 9 months, you absolute lad. Get in there. Big up Don Gungshi for gifting you out a membership there. An absolute top lad he is. Gaming Sim says, we have multiple problems and all the roads lead back to Joel and Avram. Cut the head off the snake. Hashtag Glazers out. So true, lad. You're absolutely bang right. Couldn't agree more. Can we get some big love and a hashtag 9 in there for the Gaming Sim? Thanks for being a double member, lad. You're an absolute don. I couldn't agree more with you. Avram and Joel Glazer, they're the biggest problem, it seems, and the rest of the Glazer family as well. But those two in particular, it does seem like maybe they're the ones that don't want to go. That do not want to go. So it doesn't seem like they're particularly ready to sell the football club, you know? That's the problem here, really. It's like those two are the main ones, I think. So it does seem like Joel and Avram Glazer still aren't ready to sell the football club. And if they were gone, if we had the right direction, the right owners, I think you would see a much better football team on the pitch. As simple as that. Look at Newcastle. Right. Anyway, I guess we'll move on a little bit here. Before I do, loosely connected to the Glazer shit-ass situation as well. So you know the Galatasaray game was a debacle with lots of Galatasaray fans in the home end and hospitality tickets being sold to Gala fans, and you know a bit of an ill feeling around the place where there's a lot of Galatasaray fans in the home end and things like that. And it's just not on really, and it's obviously down to money. And they've spent a lot of they've spent a lot of money to get the tickets, and Manchester United have profited from that, and disregarding the enjoyment and the security of the Manchester United fans in the stadium. Just disgusting behaviour really from whoever's idea that was to sell the tickets to Gala fans in that sort of a way. And Simon Stone from the BBC has recently released this, which is essentially an update on that. It says that Manchester United have told fans who have written to the club complaining about the number of Galatasaray fans in the home section of Old Trafford on Tuesday that they are taking steps to prevent it happening again. In their reply to supporters, United confirmed that some tickets were unofficially accessed by or transferred to visiting fans, even though they were all allocated to season ticket holders or members. I don't buy it. United are still investigating the extent of the problem and precisely why it occurred, and say they hope to have an update next week. Also, if you would look around social media, there's images of the seats at Old Trafford in certain areas with guest stickers on there. So how does that even make sense? United are still investigating the extent of the problem precisely occurred and say they hope to have an update next week. It was estimated well over 1,000 Galatasaray fans were dotted around the stadium during the game, with many coming together after the final whistle to celebrate their side's 3-2 victory in the Champions League. United have not discounted the possibility that some of UEFA's allocation of Category A tickets for the home part of the stadium that would have been given to Galatasaray guests, club partners and families on normal practice in the Champions League was part of the problem. There was singing in the director's box as well as the wider stadium after the final whistle. They are also continuing what is regarded as an ongoing battle to identify touts who have season tickets. United sources reject absolute the idea that tickets donated to the Manchester United Foundation by season ticket holders were sold for more than the standard ground admission price. They are denying that. The club realised the issue of ticketing remains a problem, even though they are now set to send direct phones with a QR code. BBC Sport has been told they're working on technology that would tie a ticket to a specific device, which in theory would make it almost impossible to tout. Right, okay. So, it's piss poor. It's just absolute negligence from Manchester United here. And I think I personally think just to make an almighty buck. That's what it's down to. They might say all this, but I personally think they're quite up for selling tickets to fans from different clubs here on this instance to make an extra few 100,000 or million or whatever the hell they made by doing so. Absolute disgusting behaviour from our football club. So there you go. Just wanted to read that statement out there then. Pretty gash. It's pretty gash. I mean, yeah. No, that's a fair point. You know, you've made a fair point there. Hang on, where's that comment gone? So there's a fair few Turks in this country. You have to remember that. Yes. Yes, absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. But guess what? It doesn't matter. You know, you don't put the home and away fans in the same areas and have pockets of Galatasaray fans within the home crowds and all that sort of stuff. It's asking for trouble. It's asking for absolute trouble. So I just think it's bad. It's a bad look from Manchester United. It's a bad look for what they've done. Thank you, Subsler. Appreciate you as well. Nice one. Right, guys, just going to get on to the rest of the latest news then. Keep smashing that like button. Hit the thumbs up on it. You know it makes sense. Drop a like. It's free. Hit the subscribe button if you're new as well. We're only 17 now away from 76.2k subs. Let's have a subscribe spike. Hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done so. Drop a like on it and all that. Nice one. So just going to get through. I'm going to blaze through a couple of other bits of news about Manchester United now. So just in regards to Maguire and Rashford, they have reportedly been called up to the England squad, but Mason Mount has been omitted by Gareth Southgate, it seems. He's been excluded from the latest England squad by Gareth Southgate, but Manchester United's Harry Maguire and Marcus Rashford both named in the latest England squad. I mean, that is pretty outrageous, isn't it? They've been playing like shite. It just goes to show you that Southgate literally just selects players based on who he likes and their reputations rather than, you know, actually making decisions based on form. I mean, I'm going to support Marcus Rashford. I really am. I think he could come back and do well. But his form this season has been gash. And Slabby Maguire hasn't even been playing. This twat hasn't even been playing, has he? So Southgate just selected his mate Slabbo, regardless of him playing football, is pretty pathetic from Southgate. Hashtag Southgate out. What a shit England manager. Don't want to see him in charge for the Euros, but he will be. And he'll be selecting gash bags like Slabbo at the back throughout the tournament, no doubt, because that's who his trusted men are, unfortunately. That's it. So just wanted to talk about that. It's gash. And I agree, Gaming Sim. Gaming Sim says Mount's the only one of those three that's deserving. Yeah, Mount's had a couple of decent games recently. Even he's not been setting the world alight. But he's been omitted from the side. He previously was used in the England setup. It's like it doesn't even really add up. Southgate, it just doesn't add up from Southgate's point of view. But there you go. That is apparently what the case is. He's selecting these wank bags who are not even playing well at this moment in time. Pretty outrageous. Okay, Andre Onana, guys. Andre Onana. So there's just some reports here on Andre Onana sort of situation that I just want to read out because obviously he's going to come in for a bit of scrutiny at the moment based on his performance. Marco Marchesi, a mental coach, has said that Onana was a very strong goalkeeper last year, among the 3 best in Serie A. He certainly hasn't become poor in a short time now, but what has happened to him in these months? Now he is no longer able to cope with emotion. Fear has taken over and he needs someone to help him deal with the situation. Goodness me, let's call in Phil Jones. He knows a thing or two about absolutely bottling. No, let's not. The point is, yeah, he does seem to have crumbled since he's come into the club. Look, hopefully, I'm not going to just kick him while he's down. Hopefully Onana can come back and do really good stuff for us. But I am sceptical as to how long it's going to take for him to get to the standard of United, if he ever can do. This is not the Serie A. This is not Serie A. This is a different setup. This is the Premier League. It's a totally different animal. He's got to be a good goalkeeper to the point where he can come in and look good almost sooner or later right at the start of his career. Not something that we have to sort of, you know, have make mistakes and learn. He should be slotting in and doing his job straight away, if you ask me, unfortunately, as a top goalkeeper. So it makes me question whether we've got a top goalkeeper or not. And I am really, really concerned about the goalkeeper position at United right now. It's a big shame. Thank you, Zane says, Piggy, who's the most boring Starmer? Southgate or Maguire? Oh, sorry, who's the most boring? Starmer, Southgate or Maguire? I thought you meant who's the... Never mind. Who's the most boring? That's where you needed a comma, mate. You've got your commas and your punctuation in the wrong place there, mate. Who's the most boring? Keir Starmer, Gareth Southgate or Harry Maguire? Fucking hell. I mean, I have to say, honestly, I do think the most boring out of those 3 is Gareth Southgate. The guy is mind-numbingly gash to listen to. You know, it's like I would literally rather just sit in a padded cell on my own for 17 days than listen to Gareth Southgate talk for 5 minutes. You know, he's super boring, this man, and he is mundane and morose. So I would say that, in all honesty, I do think Gareth Southgate is the most boring of those 3. But all of them are complete jebens, mate. all of them are boring as you like. So I don't know, mate, but I would have to say that I think Southgate's the most boring, isn't he? Come on. Who do you think, guys? Starmer, says Ryo. Southgate, says Teo. Starmer all day. Keir Starmer, the Labour candidate, Melter. No difference. All three are gammons, says Gaming Simp. It's Maguire. Yeah, there you go. Starmer. Anyway, so, yes, guys, that is basically where we're at. Thank you for the super chat there, mate. We're absolute nonsense super chat as always for me there, Amy Assey, taking us out of the stream. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Get in there, Gungshi Legend. So, anyway, let's just crack on with the latest on other stuff that we've got as well, very briefly, and then we will get into the Q&A, but there's only a few little things I want to discuss other than that. So, Andre Onana, there are some reports that he's a bit reluctant as well, perhaps, to travel to AFCON, the Africa Cup of Nations, because of how bad his start's been at Manchester United. So Rob Dawson from ESPN says that Andre Onana is reluctant to take a time away from Man United to play for Cameroon at the AFCON in January after a difficult start to his career at United. So because he's had a bad start, maybe he's a bit reluctant to go. I don't know, in case he misses his place or he wants to ride this negative wave and come out the other side of it before he goes away, because otherwise the pressure's just going to grow. I don't know, really. I mean, I kind of hope he does go to AFCON as soon as possible, so we can play somebody else, because I do think that he's not looking all that good at this moment in time. Honestly, so, you know, let's not kick him while he's down. We have to give him a chance, I guess, because we spent lots of money on him, and he's our main goalkeeper, and Ten Hag's signing, and Ten Hag sort of has to keep his faith in him because he's the guy that signed him. So we have to give him a chance. I mean, let's give him a chance. Reluctantly, I want to give him a chance. I just don't see it. I'm looking at him making bags of mistakes every single week, and I don't see it. But let's just hope that he gets that baptism of fire out of the way. He can come through this negative period a better player, better goalkeeper, and come out the other side and be consistently good and not make these errors. That's what he's going to have to do. David De Gea was, in comparison, ridiculously solid for Manchester United. He did make a few errors, but every goalkeeper does. And if we're looking about consistency and match-winning saves, and I mean, there's no comparison. David De Gea was excellent for Manchester United. Onana, on the other hand, he looks like another Massimo Taibi or another Fabian Barthez, or just somebody that's come in here with certainly like Barthez, with the eccentricity of his play, the ability to play out from the back, but not the shot-stopping capabilities, and maybe making errors and the eccentricity that you don't really need as a goalkeeper. Yeah, Mount says the warning signs were there with Onana. Loads of howlers on YouTube. Well, I'm not so sure about that, you know. I think if you really want to make a goalkeeper look bad, I mean, you can take Edison and Alisson and everybody who's a good goalkeeper in this league, and you can make a howler compilation out of them. Every goalkeeper will make mistakes. It's the most unforgiving position on a pitch. Even the strikers, when they miss an open goal, it doesn't lead to you conceding. And, you know, even the defenders, when they slip up, they still got the last line of defence, the goalkeeper, to try and, you know, save it for them. But the goalkeeper, it's the most unforgiving position on the pitch. When you make an error, that's it. It's your fault. It's highlighted. You've conceded. So I think you could almost make any goalkeeper look bad just by making a compilation on YouTube, to be fair. I don't think that really says the whole story. You know, but yeah, maybe he is just a bad signing. Only time will tell on that one. I think time will tell. Oh, Andy, yeah, I've gone over this, Andy. I've gone over this, mate. I've gone over this. I've told you why this doesn't matter. I've gone over this, mate. Do I have to repeat myself? I guess I do. So David De Gea, he wasn't good in his first season, even though, you know why? Because he was a little wiry 18, 19-year-old thin kid who didn't have the physicality to deal with the Premier League at the time. But he settled in, he got more physically strong, he got larger and more comfortable in terms of dealing with that physicality required in the Premier League. I don't believe David De Gea struggled at the start of his United career because he couldn't stop shots. He struggled because he was being physically bullied by opposition centre-forwards, and he was struggling in that regard. He had to come in and grow at United. Onana's 27 and built like a brick shithouse, mate. You know what I mean? We basically got Francis Ngannou in goal, mate. You know what I'm saying? He's a fucking unit. He's not a kid. He's a strong, physically gifted goalkeeper. So I don't buy that. I think he's a great shot stopper, this guy. He should be a great shot stopper, this guy, but he's not. It's not really about his other areas of the goalkeeping that I've got a problem with. Even though he made a howler with his passing out at the back, his passing out has been good enough, certainly impressive in certain games. His ability to claim balls from crossers has been good as well in general, you know. It's the shot stopping that's the problem with Andre Onana. The fundamental of being a goalkeeper is the problem with Andre Onana, not anything else, really. Thank you, Gung. She says we've got 200 likes. Get in there, my son. Thank you, everyone, for hitting that like button on the video. You're a bunch of legends. Fury up front, says Jay. Onana's a shrinker. Maybe he is a shrinker, lad. You know, he does seem to shrink in games, lad. It seems like we've got a grower, not a shower. in the team. He's somebody that has to grow and not somebody that's there to show us what he could do immediately right now. Kind of Yuri. I don't know. I mean, I've not given up. It's not panic stations just yet, but it's getting there, mate. If we don't start winning results and getting results and winning games and putting a run together, we are going to be in serious shit this season. We will fall out the Champions League group stage. We will struggle to get into the top four, and it will be a calamitous season. And the pressure will be on the owners and the board and everyone to maybe sack Ten Hag. And I don't even think he's the real reason why we're doing so badly here. The Qatar bid news, Sheikh Hadi, we've gone over it at the start of the show, but it's more or less just to summarise. They don't want to increase their offer, really, of $5 billion that's on the table. The Glazers are waiting out to try and get as much as they can, but the Sheikh Jassim, the Qatari group that are bidding for this, don't seem to feel like there is much value in paying £6 billion for Manchester United right now, considering all the debts and issues we have on and off the pitch. So that's really the latest there. We need to bench Amrabat, says Madhouse. Well, listen, Amrabat, I kind of feel a bit for Amrabat. I think Amrabat looked really decent in the first half of the other game, even playing at left back. He's not a left back, is he? So he's been asked to do a job of him that is not his role, and he's looking a bit vulnerable for it. If you stick him in the centre midfield, I think he'll be absolutely fantastic. He needs to play in his own position, and if he does play in his own position, he'll be a much stronger, more comfortable performer out there for us, I think. And he has looked good in general. Got no problems with Amrabat. He did make a mistake in the other game, but he's been asked to do a job that, isn't really his forte. Just on that, we've got big injury issues at left back. Alvaro Fernandez, we should have probably not loaned out now. And I've got a bit of news that suggests that it's likely that we won't be able to get Alvaro Fernandez back until January now, which is very, very concerning. Hopefully Reguilon will be back though. Absolutely, yeah. Exactly. It's unfair on Amrabat. He's no left back. Yeah, exactly. People complaining about Pogba and Van der Beek, but Amrabat fucking lost the ball more than Bruno says must play. No, I disagree, must play. I actually do disagree. I think if you look at his first couple of games, he's been generally fantastic for us, particularly his first game. He's been asked to play as a left back. Imagine being, I don't know, imagine Scholes playing left back. Scholes was an unbelievable player, but surely he would look a little bit dodgy playing left back. Imagine, I don't know, whoever. I mean, certain midfielders are going to be able to do it, of course. And there's certain midfielders that could play wing backs, could play midfield, people like Xavi Zanetti or Philippe Lahm or whoever, of course. But it's not two positions that necessarily go together hand in hand, is it? They've totally different requirements in that role. So I just don't think we can blame Andre Onana for one dodgy performance at left back. Abel W, thank you very much for getting in with a super chat. Says, how many more bad games before you drop Onana? Abel, honestly, I drop him now. I don't want to just get on this guy and kick him on his down, but I drop him now. I'll tell you, there's a couple of reasons why. He's causing issues for Manchester United. He's looking very ropey at the back. That's going to cause a problem in terms of the confidence of the rest of the team as well, feeling like we've got a good, solid performer at the back there to trust. It's also going to put extra added pressure on Andre Onana right now. I say take him out of the spotlight right now, take the pressure off of him, give a different goalkeeper a chance, and allow Andre Onana to get himself right mentally and just give him a chance to have a break. Because he is under serious scrutiny and under the spotlight every single week. He's got mad pressure on him every time he steps out on the pitch. Everybody's going to be waiting for his next error. It's like the Maguire scenario all over again. So I say just take him out of it at the moment. I genuinely would actually drop him now. Thank you, Isabel, Daisy, Taylor. Appreciate that. Says, love the content. Thank you very much. I appreciate you getting there, you legendess. Yeah, you can't give his first team spot for a bad performance. Precisely, Di Valentino. He's had one bad game, isn't he? Exactly. So anyway, guys, right. So, yeah, is that basically all the news I've got there? Let me just see what else we had to discuss here very quickly. That's basically it. Let me check out what new stuff has come out during the show. So Gary Neville quoted us speaking. Thank you, Rush Mono, for sending me some stuff here. Gary Neville, new fresh quotes on Man United's start to the season. He says that scruffy, very scruffy, up and down, inconsistent, injuries and lots of things going wrong on the pitch and lots of things going wrong off of the pitch. So damn true, isn't it? Gary Neville basically saying it how it is. It's just a complete shit show everywhere. He says, I think until the problems are solved at United, we'll still continue to see underperforming teams, underperforming players. It's become a graveyard for coaches and players. It's not too strong a term. Right, yeah, bit of a dead club at the moment with the Glazer shithouses involved. It is, it has to be said. It is a big problem. Zamiasi's got in here with another super chat. He says, Piggy, why United buy not Garnish back, who Liverpool bought? He's class. And Darwin Núñez also. And waste money on Onana and Mount. That's it, mate. That's fucking it, mate. Straight red card for you, Zamiatsi. You're talking absolute hose nonsense there, bud. You what? So, Gravenberch, right, who Liverpool, well, we were thinking about buying him at some point, weren't we? We ended up going to get Amrabat. And remember, Amrabat's not even playing in his role at the moment. Once we've got players fit in the left-back position, we'll be playing Amrabat in the midfield, and that will solve the issue with a midfielder. And Sharkwin Punes, he ain't all that, mate. He ain't all that, Sharkwin Punes. He paid 100 million for that guy as well, and he ain't all that. He is a good player, but he ain't all that, bud. I'm much happier with Rasmus Højlund at 20 years of age. Honestly, I think Rasmus Højlund, look at him the other night, he was absolutely impeccable. He's given me a real sense of ambition and hope that he's going to turn out to be a fucking absolute worldie. Just from that one performance alone, just look at everything that he did in that game. The physicality, the tenacity, the determination, the pace, everything. He's 20. He's 20 years of age. That guy's going to be the tits. So I'm not too worried about our striker position now. Certainly don't want Sharkwin Punes, mate. You know, his haircut's even more suspect than mine, mate. He looks like a fucking jeb end. Definitely don't want that guy in the squad, mate. No, thank you. So you're talking absolute nonsense there, yet again, Zane. But it's what we've come to expect from you, bud. Anyway, so yeah, exactly, Gungshi. Højlund over Punes. I completely agree with you. Smash a 1 in the chat if you prefer Rasmus Højlund over Punes. And I'm not even saying that just because he's a Liverpool player and ours is a United player. I'm genuinely saying I think Rasmus is a better player and he's younger and has a better potential as well to be one of the best in the world. So do one say. Anyway, just off the field issues. Gary Neville alluding to off the field issues there at Manchester United. I have to say, I believe it's the case. He says that he feels very sorry for Erik ten Hag. He says, I know a lot of people would say he's got to do a lot better, and that's fine. He's the Man United manager, but there are a lot of big problems at the club that the managers have found over the last 10 years. So basically, more or less what I was saying at the start of this show, that there's a lot of other reasons why Ten Hag's finding it hard, and I think any manager would struggle and find it hard at Manchester United at this particular moment. So there you go. And off-the-field issues, here's another off-the-field issue that doesn't really, or hasn't helped Ten Hag. Okay, now he's back in the squad, but Antony. Just very briefly on Antony, so there is a report here in regards to Antony's ex-girlfriend, Gabriella Cavallin, that she will be talking to Greater Manchester Police next Wednesday. Antony obviously strenuously denies the claims against him. He was not charged. So he's been brought back into the side. He's cooperated with authorities in Manchester, the police. He's spoken to them. He wasn't charged. He wasn't arrested, anything like that. And she will talk to police. But it seems like perhaps this is a bit of a red herring going on here. I don't buy it. I think if United are prepared to take him back into the club, they've got enough to say that this guy is innocent and is going to be okay. So there you go. I think we can hopefully soon, anyway, we can't do it just yet, but hopefully soon we can bookend this saga with Antony and he's going to be fine and he's going to get played, and that's another player back into the side. Now, he's not exactly been sensational, but he has had off-the-field issues that perhaps have been a little bit distracting for him this season, and he's known that that's gone on in the background for a while. So I do feel that potentially he could still flourish into a very good player for us. He is a bit one-dimensional, but so was Iron Robin. Now, are we going to compare Antony to Iron Robin at the end of his career, or should we compare him to him when they were both 22, 23? He's still got a lot of development to do, hopefully, and I think he will be a good player, but it's stuff like that is what I'm saying. We've had off-the-field issues that do not help. We've had injury problems as well. It's a serious, serious problem. Right, I'm going to get into the live chat for a few minutes, guys. Oh, shit, it's already 25 past 11. Crikey. Right, do us a favour. Smash the like button. Share us around on social media. I'm going to get into the live chat for a bit of a chat. Then we're going to go over on the gaming channel and play some Forza Motorsport, guys. Oh, yes. Come and join us for that, guys, on the gaming channel. But right now, I'm going to just... Oh, a couple of other things I wanted to discuss. So, just very briefly, Mitoma in January is a reported link as well. Man United reportedly plan to be active in the January transfer window. I'll believe it when I see it. And apparently we're unable to recall Alvaro Fernandez until January as well, which means that we're basically stuck with the left backs that we've got right now. We did bring in Reguilon. As it turns out, we shouldn't have let Alvaro Fernandez go out on loan. That was a mistake as well. But you can't really see these injuries coming so thick and fast to all of our left-backs. It's crazy, isn't it? We have been up against it, injury-wise. Travis, thanks for being a member for 9 months. Let's get a #9 in the chat for Travis. Thank you, Trav. Very much indeed for supporting the show, mate, and being a 9-month member of this channel. #9 for Travis. Thank you so much, Travis. I do appreciate that. Nice one. Absolute top lad. Get in there. Gungshi says, we love you, Zane, really. We really, really do. Thank you, Travis, though, very much indeed for all your support, mate, and your help with the channel over the years, mate. And, the thumbnail on the other stream, etc. Absolute lad. Jess Young, get in there, Jess says #9. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to go over and shout out all the reposters on this stream. Big up yourselves. Thanks everyone who's got in here and reposted the stream. It does help the channel out. We've had 17 post retweets. Thank you so much. It's at the top of the live chat. Aaron Homeyard, transfers_UTD, Tiger Woods, Sanjay Ramatar, Vincent Bullock, United Mark, Kieran Watts, Susan Hubley, Jarvis Cocker, The Butcher of Manchester, Stephen Braun, John Boy Cat, J United in Gaming, Tommy Boyle, Sin Games, Anna, and Boomy. Thank you so much for getting in here raw and retweeting the show and spreading the word of the show. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm not too bad, Jess Young, not too shabby. Thanks for asking. Right, let's get stuck into the chat for a few minutes, guys. I can't stay on ridiculously long because we do have to go over to the gaming channel where we are doing a Forza Motorsport stream. We'll be starting over there in a few minutes' time. Big up yourselves, everyone who's subscribed to Flying Pig Gaming. I will put that in the live chat here as well. Forza stream here. Subscribe. Nice one. Please do subscribe to my gaming channel, Flying Pig Gaming. You're missing out on hanging out with the community and great gaming vibes over there, guys. Make sure you get yourself involved by clicking that link that I've just put in the live chat and subscribing to the gaming channel. Thank you, Gungshi, for reposting the stream on Twitter as well, you absolute lad. Thanks for sharing it around. You're a don. You're an absolute don. Thank you very much. And once again, thank you for all the support and the gifted memberships earlier on. Hero, lad. Zamiashi says, Piggy, why do you keep playing driving and football games? Why don't you do some retro games like WWF WrestleMania on the PS1? You what? Mate, why don't you go and play World of Warcraft in your underpants instead of getting in here and talking absolute tripe in the chat, mate? You know what I mean? Why are you telling me what to do? Listen, if I want to play driving games, football games, whatever, I'll play them, mate. Do I want to play WWF WrestleMania on the PS1? No. I don't even remember WWF WrestleMania on the PS1, mate. I remember WWF WrestleMania on the Sega Mega Drive. I remember SmackDown on the PlayStation 1, but I don't actually remember WWF WrestleMania. Are you sure you haven't got that wrong, Zane? I feel like you got that wrong, mate. PS1... I remember the WrestleMania with Hulk Hogan on the front ripping the shirt on the Sega Mega Drive, mate. I reckon you got that wrong. I reckon that's a lack of knowledge from you there, bud. Hey? 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 What's that? Fucking double red, mate. Double red. 2 red cards, mate. That's a 2-footer from you there, my son. Double red. Double red, mate. Yeah, Fry says, WrestleMania, you what? There was a game called WWF WrestleMania. I remember playing it on the Mega Drive, but I don't remember playing it on the PS1. Oh, no. SmackDown and SmackDown 2, just bring it, mate. On the PlayStation era. What are you talking about, lad? You're talking shite, bud. Samey Assy getting it all wrong there. Hey, listen, Zane, you go and play World of Warcraft now, bud. Please, please. Thank you very much for that. Kungshi says, Piggy, you've been slacking off with the Pokemon. I have actually, haven't I? I haven't been on there for a few days, mate. You're absolutely right. I'll send you a gift very soon, my Don. I will do. Thanks for reminding me. You got it wrong there, Zane, mate. In fact, let's have a look at this. WWF WrestleMania game. Okay. No, he's right, actually. He is right, actually. The arcade game, right? Okay, there was one. It was the arcade game. It was on the PlayStation, was it? I don't know. Anyway, who cares? No, I'm not playing it, Zane. Not playing it, mate, but there was an old school one anyway, which is the one I'm thinking about. Just shut up, mate. Stop talking about absolute nonsense on the channel, mate, basically. It was on a lot of platforms. Yeah, Jay, he was right, actually. It was on the PlayStation 1. But I didn't play it on there. Tommy Paul says Zane's mum needs to get her credit card back. Oh, Mark says, until we get our back four sorted, no matter who is goalkeeper opposition, we'll run riot. We can't score enough goals. That's true as well, lad. That is true. It's not going to happen, Shadow Stoic, lad. No. Oh, no. Gordon says, Man United should stick with Ten Hag as Nagelsmann, Conte and Zidane won't touch the job. We'll end up with someone like Carrick or Southgate. Yeah, fair play to you, Gordon. Yeah, I mean, look, Carrick might be a good man, but crikey, it's like, no, there's not the perfect candidate out there. Like you say, Ancelotti or something like that's just not really going to take the job right now, are they? They're not available. Get in there, my son. New VR here. Where that? Yeah. Pig, if we had the same recruitment that bought Maguire, which players would have signed with that 400 million? Well, who should we could have got? Who should we could have got instead of Maguire? You say? I don't know, mate. I mean, I don't really understand the question. I mean, I don't want to think about which gash players we should sign. I would like to think about which good players we should have signed. We don't even need a lot of money to sign the good players that we should have signed. We could have signed players like Moises Caicedo, Julian Alvarez, Ruben Diaz, players that were actually linked with us. We could have signed them. We could have gone and got Bellingham. We could have gone and got Haaland while he was, you know, in bloody Norway or whatever. We could have done things differently, definitely. I was planning to, but I need to sleep. Oh, no. Sing Game, sorry, we've left you on a little bit late there, my son. Sorry, dude. Yeah, we have gone on a bit here. We're supposed to start at 20 past 11, mate. Oh, dude. Mate, I'm going to have to get on the Forza stream in a moment, guys. I'm going to just read one or two more comments out. Saying stick to playing Space Invaders, says Johnny. Get in there, D. Valentino. Lovely consoles, lovely systems, mate. Just bought Forza. Get in there, mate. That's awesome. I look forward to you playing, mate. Get in there, Jess Young. Ancelotti next Brazil boss. Piggy says Frankie. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. You okay? We absolutely suck, says No Toes. Giveaway, you melter, says King Boomy. King Boomy, I'll shat it again, mate. I have melted here, bud. I have melted. You've got a bloody t-shirt heading your way right now anyway, so you can pipe down, sir. But everybody else, I have to apologise for my lack of drawing the winner for the giveaway. It's not been forgotten, guys. It will be drawn very, very soon. In fact, I stake my reputation on it being tomorrow that we draw a winner, okay? Stake my reputation. In fact, you know what? I'll give 2 t-shirts away for my delay. 2 t-shirts away. We'll pick 2 winners. There's only about 30 entries or something. So you guys have got a much better chance of winning now. So tomorrow we'll do 2 giveaway winners. Nice one. Right, guys, I've got to wrap this stream up, guys. I've got to wrap it up. But you can come back after this video and get your thoughts and opinions in the not live comment section after this stream is finished and have your say. So please do get yourself in there raw. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. Smash the like before you go. Click the bell icon for notifications. Get your thoughts and opinions in after it's finished with your comments afterwards. Follow us over to the gaming channel now, guys. I'll put the link in the chat. Do come and join us for the Forza stream. We're going to be streaming for a few hours over there, playing some racing, hanging out. So come and join us, peeps. Oh, yes, you know it makes sense. But for now, thank you all for getting in here. Thanks for having your say. Thank you, the Hoop Man. Thank you, all the moderators, all the members, all the legends of the channel. Thank you so much for getting aboard the Bacon Express today. Piggy loves you. Thank you for tuning in. The Mustard, Tommy Boyle, Sing Games, Gungshi, everybody. Thank you, every one of you legends, for getting in. Have your say afterwards, and I'll see you on the next one. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. Check out the gaming channel, Flying Pig Gaming, over here. Links in the description, and I'll see you in 2 minutes' time. Cheers, guys. That's it from me. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for talking. Thanks for chatting and interacting. And I'll see you very soon. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.